Modern medicine says it holds all the answers for your health. We're told these tiny pills are the only path to feeling good. But deep in the mountains, folk used simple plants and old ways for centuries. They healed tough sicknesses better than any modern drug, and often with no bad reactions. The truth about what they found will shake your belief in what truly makes you well. Number 1. Willow bark tea for pain relief. If you've ever had a headache, you've probably reached for an aspirin. Well, people in Appalachia had the original version growing right in their backyard, the willow tree. They would make a tea from the bark because it's packed with something called salicin. Once it's in your body, that salicin turns into the same key ingredient that fights pain and inflammation in modern aspirin. It was their trusted fix for everything from fevers to sore muscles. But pain isn't the only thing these remedies could fix. The next one tackles a problem that sends millions to the doctor every year. Number 2. Garlic remedies for infections. When it came to fighting off infections, many Appalachian families didn't need a prescription. They just went straight to their garden. Their secret weapon was garlic, which contains a powerful compound called allicin. This is what gives garlic its famous kick, but it's also a natural germ killer, effective against all sorts of nasty bacteria. People would eat cloves raw to fight off sickness from the inside, or crush them into a paste for wounds. It was so trusted, it even earned the nickname Russian penicillin. But some problems aren't caused by germs. What happens when the issue is in your own head? Number 3. Mullein leaf for lung support. A nagging cough can feel like it's all you can think about, a constant rattle in your chest you just can't shake. For this, people in Appalachia turned to mullein leaf. European settlers brought this plant over, already using it as an expectorant. A simple way to say it helps you cough up and clear out whatever's stuck in your lungs. Native Americans adopted the remedy and even found a clever second use for its big, fuzzy leaves, as soft cushions inside their moccasins. But some problems aren't so easy to cough up. What did they do for pain that settled deep in the joints? Number 4. Elderberry syrup for colds. When that first telltale sniffle or body ache hits, many in Appalachia reached for deep purple elderberry syrup. This wasn't just a sweet treat. It was seen as a powerful tool to kick your immune system into high gear. The dark berries are loaded with natural compounds called flavonoids, which are believed to help the body fight off viruses. People swore it could shorten a nasty cold or flu by days, and some modern studies actually suggest the same. It was the go-to remedy for getting back on your feet faster. But what about injuries you can see, like a nasty cut or burn? Number 5. Pine resin salves for wounds. For a deep cut or a stubborn splinter, many people in Appalachia turned straight to the pine tree. They would collect its sticky resin, also called pine pitch, and carefully melt it down to create a powerful healing salve. This stuff was like a natural first aid kit in a jar. Pine resin is packed with compounds that fight off germs, helping to prevent nasty infections. When spread over a wound, it created a waterproof seal that kept dirt out while the skin healed underneath. It was even famous for drawing splinters right to the surface. But healing the skin is one thing. What about aches buried deep inside the muscles? Number 6. Peppermint tea for digestion. Sometimes the worst discomfort isn't a cut or a bruise, but that deep, churning feeling in your stomach. For that kind of internal trouble, like bloating or indigestion, many in Appalachia brewed a simple cup of peppermint tea. The plant contains compounds known to help calm and relax the muscles in your gut, easing cramps and helping everything settle down. And this wasn't some fringe practice. By 2012, a national survey found over 53 million Americans were regularly using herbal remedies, showing just how much trust people put in them. But what did they turn to for an issue that wasn't in the gut, but in the joints? Number 7. Honey and onion cough syrup. For that deep, rattling cough that just won't quit, many Appalachian families went straight to the pantry. They'd slice up an onion, cover it with honey, and let it sit to create a simple, potent syrup. This wasn't just a recipe, it was a tradition rooted in self-reliance. A tried-and-true fix passed down through generations to soothe a raw throat and quiet a cough. But what about when the problem wasn't a cough, but an itchy, irritating rash on your skin? Number 8. Sassafras root tonics. For many in Appalachia, the start of spring meant it was time for a sassafras tonic. They believed this drink would purify the blood, acting as a deep clean for the body after a long winter. It was a tradition that combined old European knowledge with wisdom learned from Native American tribes. But this is where old wisdom clashes hard with modern science. Sassafras contains a chemical called safrole, which we now know can cause cancer. Because of that major health risk, the FDA has banned it completely. But not all plants hide such a dangerous secret. Number 9. Plantain leaf poultices. This isn't the banana-like fruit. We're talking about a common green weed you've probably seen in your own yard. For an annoying splinter, a bee sting, or an itchy bug bite, this was the go-to remedy. People would simply crush or even chew a fresh leaf to release its juices, creating a simple paste. When applied to the skin, this poultice was known to calm inflammation and draw out anything that didn't belong. It works because the leaf contains natural compounds that soothe pain and help skin cells heal faster. But what about when the problem isn't a sting, but a persistent ache? Number 10. Chamomile sleep. Remedies. Sometimes the biggest battle isn't a wound or a cough, but just getting your mind to quiet down at night. For that, many people in Appalachia relied on the gentle power of chamomile, usually brewed into a warm, soothing tea. It contains a natural compound that helps ease anxiety and acts like a mild sedative. It basically tells your brain it's time to slow down and rest, making it easier to drift off. This made it a go-to, not just for sleeplessness, but for calming nervousness too. Calming the mind was one thing, but what did they use when the body itself felt sluggish and bogged down? Number 11. Black walnut parasite treatments. That sluggish, bogged-down feeling was sometimes blamed on something else entirely. Unwanted guests inside the body. For this, many in Appalachia turned to the potent green hulls of the black walnut tree. These hulls contain a powerful natural compound that's toxic to parasites and fungi. It was a go-to remedy for an internal cleanse, used to get rid of things like intestinal worms. It was also applied directly to the skin to fight stubborn fungal infections like ringworm, effectively cleaning the body inside and out. But what about when the pain was external and immediate, like from a nasty sting? Number 12. Yarrow for bleeding control. For a deep gash or a nasty scrape out in the mountains, you needed something that worked fast. That's where yarrow came in. This plant was so good at stopping bleeding, it was nicknamed soldier's woundwort and carried onto battlefields for centuries. The method was simple. Crush the fresh leaves and flowers and pack them directly into the wound. The plant has natural compounds that help blood clot almost immediately, sealing up the injury and preventing serious blood loss. But what about when the problem was less dramatic, like a painful rash? Number 13. Nettle tea for joint pain. It's a strange twist, but the very plant that gives you a painful, stinging rash was also used to treat deep aches. People in Appalachia knew that if you carefully dried the leaves of stinging nettle and brewed them into a tea, it did the opposite of what it does to your skin. For those with the constant nagging pain of arthritis, this tea was a go-to remedy. It's packed with natural compounds that help calm down inflammation, easing the stiffness and swelling in aching joints like knees and hands. We've journeyed deep into the mountains, unearthing 13 forgotten remedies that tackled everything from nagging aches and stubborn coughs to serious infections and deep wounds. These aren't just old tales. They reveal a powerful wisdom, showing how people found real relief using the potent, natural compounds hidden in the plants around them. It truly makes you reconsider the simple, yet effective paths to well-being that modern pills often ignore.